Guys, good morning. Oh my god, it feels so great to be here, doesn't it? It is Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon for some of you, maybe even Saturday evening where you live. We finally have every single Uprising card out, and I am super excited to talk to you about them. Oh my god, the news yesterday, I don't know about you, but I was like, yes. I really wanted to find time to make a Shrine of Death meme that had the crazed bomber on it saying, remember our fallen card and stuff like that. But oh my word, I am so happy that card is gone. You guys cannot even understand the excitement I have for the new Hammer Down. Oh, Aquamarine Jovi, thank you very much. Guys, today, I know it's the all anticipated, all much waiting for full set card review from me. And we have an amazing from S Darbs ZZZ. I think that's how many Z's are in this. S Darbs is like a buzzword. I like the meme you posted in Discord about the Tentacle and Bomber. That meme I actually found. I didn't make that one. I found that one on Facebook and I was like, that is so amazing. I need to post that. Wrangler, good morning. But guys, we have this amazing resource made by S-Darbs that we're going to use today. It's an amazing site on the Steam community where we put every single Uprising card in numerical order on there for us. And I was like, dude, that's awesome. Thank you very much. So S-Darbs, if you are there, Thunderfin salute to you, man. Thank you for putting this together for me, for all the streamers out there that want to do this. This is an amazing resource until Lightseekers gets a hold of it themselves. Ratchet Garble, or Garby, how's it going, man? Mud Turtle, hello. Frestian, Rocket Czar. Everyone here, thank you very much for tuning in. Wranglethor, you as well. So yeah, we're just probably going to be doing this majority of the day. I know today is 6 hours, but we have 130 plus cards to talk about. It's a lot of cards. I have a lot of opinions on them. I do need to find a way to make it so like I can set up a little icon maybe up here of what I think they should be. Wait, what is what, Frestian? What is what? What is what? Yeah, I should have sorry, now I'm just blah 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 mind boggling. Let me the thing on the screen, my mouse, the chat box, the people sub donations, the latest events. There's a lot of things on the screen right now. The website. This is a website made by S-Darbs. S-Darbs, who you've probably all known in the community. S-Darbs made this on. I think it's part of the it's part of the Steam community. So it's on the actual Steam site where he shared the files of all the card files in numerical order. He put it up there for us. He posted it in the Discord chat. If people can still find the link to it and post it maybe in my chat or something like that, it's there. But it's an amazing site to finally look at all the cards in numerical order. So like all the solar come first, then it's all the lunar, then it's all the gravity, all the combos, then the heroes, and then it goes to the next order. So I was like, wow, that's really cool. Dude, that is really sweet. So thank you very much for S-Stars for putting that together. I think that's awesome to do. But yeah, this is awesome. This is really cool. Yeah. Really, it's nice to have something like this, so I'm not just like trying to find images in a file, because then you can click on them, and I think they're all the high-res images too. Yeah, look at that. Oh, beautiful. It's muy excelente. So this is what we'll be using today. Actually, let me go and see if I can, because I have it saved to my Gmail, so I could find it really easily. Let me see if I can find it and then just post it into the chat here. Oh, there you go, Mud Turtle. Thank you very much. I don't know why I didn't just highlight this. I could just copy and paste. I'm looking for a link when it's right in front of my face. It's still early, guys. It's still early in the morning. But yeah, if you guys even want to follow along on another screen so you can watch this, more than happy to. Trying to think any other announcements. Monday will be the last day of pre-Uprising. Wednesday will be our first day of full Uprising. That'll be like all draft all day. Monday, I don't know. We might do some just more meme decks, see what we got going. I think Monday depending on what time we have much left today, I know I still wanted to do a Zelina Bloodroot before Uprising. I wanted to see what kind of fun stuff she can have before Uprising comes out. So we might do that on Monday. Just have some more fun with her. We were gonna do her Wednesday, but we had some more fun with Bloom and Scorch, and I hope you guys are able to check those videos out because those are some amazing stuff. I also want to start getting into more of a habit of posting stuff to YouTube. I know I haven't done that in probably a week, because I'm trying to do more video edits rather than just like post the whole stream up to YouTube. And now that Uprising's come out, a lot of these videos that I was going to edit are like, yeah, these are post Uprising, so none of these really care anymore. So I've just been kind of using them to learn before I post them at YouTube. So my YouTube is kind of at a stall right now, which I understand. But give me a few days, and I will start being on a more regular basis with my YouTube videos. So look forward to that as well, guys. Without further ado, should we just kickstart this thing? Should we just jump right into these card reviews? Because I know you guys are excited for them. I'm excited to talk about them. So is this the website? Wranglethorpe? No, it's actually it's not a website. It's more of a collective folder shared online for you to type in a URL and search for this certain page and then look it up and find all the cards. One would call it a site on the web. One would call it the site on the web. Oh, no, this is not my website. No, this is not my website. I should probably post a link to this on my website. I'm probably going to do that later today, is copy this link, share it onto my official website so people can go find this page a little more easier. So, yeah, Randall, that's a good idea. I'll copy this link and have it on my website somewhere so that people can go to this page and check out Astarbs' work. Guys, without further ado, many of you don't know, this is my 1 to 5 star rating. The rating is simply based on my opinion. Oh, yeah. Dude, there's been so much stuff going on right now. Work has been getting a lot busier. I have a lot of things I need to catch up on. I'm just as bad as everyone else. I have stuff like, I need to do this, and then I haven't done it in a while. I've been working so much, not a lot of free time, so I do apologize for that. So yeah, my YouTube, my official homepage website is kind of stalled. Give me like a good week to focus on that stuff, and we'll get back on track here. But yeah, I do apologize for being stalled. It was working really well, and then like I said, everything just kind of life happened. So yeah, hopefully I can get back on track with those as well. All right, so for any of you guys that don't know, my 5-star review is simply my based opinion. I base it on how I think the card will do in the game, how much it will change the game, the impact it'll have on certain decks. What is it going to be, good or bad for the game? All this kind of stuff I really kind of rack my head around before I give it a 1 to 5 star review. 5 stars I do generally intend to save for like things that will, like, obviously if there are things that go for a specific deck, if this will make or break a deck archetype, like the new discard archetype. If this is going to be like the card that's like, if you play this archetype, you need to have like 3 copies of that card. That kind of thing's like 5-star where it's like, it only works in that. It's like, yes, I know it only works in that, but because it works only in that, it's so good for that one. That's why I'm giving it, because if you play that archetype, you need this card in it to make it work, kind of thing. So my 5 stars, I do realize last time I did hand out quite a lot of them because of that certain things. I will kind of tone it back because a lot of them were wrong. So you might not see as many. I don't know. But basically, I'll explain my opinion of why I'm giving a certain star rating as to what I do going through this. I did all my hype reviews, so don't expect me to be like, oh, these are 4 or 5 star. They're so amazing. No, my hype is over. I got you guys all hyped up by these cards. I really hope you're excited about them as I am. Now that we have all the cards, now that we can look at the cards that are rotating out, this is a more logical and understanding of the cards and what they're going to do for the game review. So, with that being said, Lush Lost Explorer. It is a solar attack card, 1 damage, draw 1 card face up. If it's lunar, you heal for 3. If it's gravity, you gain 1 additional action. It's a meh card to me. 1 damage, cool. It's solar, cool. It draws you, like, it does everything that oh god, I even had the other card databases up here. The Chimchu one draws you a card, deals 1 damage, heals you for 2. Like, that one is already in here. That one's already in the game. It is a gravity attack. If I can find it. No, it's a gravity defend. That's why I'm not finding it. It's a gravity defend. The Telestian Priest, right? Telestian Priest is a defend card, 2 healing, 1 damage to your target, draw a card. This one is potentially you 1 damage, draw a card. You could heal for 3, or you could get an initial action. 2.5 depend on what hero you use. I mean, meh. Yeah, depending on what hero you use, sure. You'd have to run like, this is one of those where like it could be good in the same sense that Shapeshifter was kind of good. If you pulled a combo, you could reveal a combo, get the extra healing, extra additional action, stuff like that. It's very temperamental on what you do with this card. It's just I don't know. We have cards that do stuff like this. It could be competing with the slot, which is very good in my opinion. Have cards competing for slots, so it's not always one card does one thing, one card does another thing. It is a different alignment. It is an attack. There's a lot of different variants it has. But I mean, Telestian Priest feels very similar to this. The only thing that's different about this is that this could give you an additional action. It could give you an additional action. So that's probably the benefit of this, but you have to draw a gravity card. And we did discuss that Astral has a way to very easily stack their deck and make sure they're drawing the right cards, right? So there is a way to make sure you get what you want out of this. But to me, this is probably, I don't know, 1.5, a 2-star card. It's a meh card. If you're going high aggro, you're probably going to want like Chimchu, the Militants over this, the 5 damage, just high attack damage, maybe even splash in explosive or any other attack stuff. This card, like it doesn't have nearly as much impact on the board as people might think. Anti-Gravity Snail is even draw card. You could possibly deal 4 damage. That's not bad. So it really all comes down to the fact where it's like, do you want more solar in your deck or do you want more gravity in your deck? What do you want? Ratchet Garby worst because you have to draw it face up. I mean, there's a lot of Astral cards you got to draw face up, so I don't really count that. Anti-Gravity Snail, you draw face up. There's so many cards that say draw this face up, right? So, but it's just like, at best, it's a 2-star card, simple because it somewhat competes with Telestian Priest if you need more solar in your deck rather than gravity. You can just swap out the alignments. That one is defend, this one is attack, so maybe there's stuff that's like your attacks do more as opposed to your defense do more. It's just like it's not going to impact the game nearly as much. It's there for another alignment, different replacement stuff. Now, this is also a card that you can't even splash in, right? Because it requires you to have Lunar and or Gravity to get the added benefit. Whereas Telestian Priest, you just get a straight benefit from it. So this one, like, it's probably only going to be seen in Astral decks. You're not going to splash this in anywhere else. And because of it, it's just like, meh. I mean, there's better attack cards out there. There's better almost everything out there for this. I'd have to check to see how many solar cards actually draw you a card, though. Maybe if you are going from a card draw and you just really want solar to draw you a card, this could be a good one. But last I checked, we have that Impatient Scholar, which could potentially draw you 2, which has been really good, or deal 4 damage. Like, that one's really good. There's better cards. There's better cards. This is probably a 2-star at max. Nothing high, nothing really big. Vibrant Plumetail is a beast solar card. It's a buff, X2, X2, potentially could be X4, X4. This card I like. This card I do like. Mostly because this is a card for, first of all, for beasts. The card it competes with is it's not the Scholar. It's the X3, X4. The Celestian Warrior, that's it. It competes with Celestian Warrior, where Celestian Warrior is essentially the same amount of damage you would get out of this card. It's -1. Same corner, same everything. The only thing this one has different is it's a beast card. So this card is more likely going to be splashed in with beast decks. This is going to be splashed in with maybe storm beast decks or nature beast decks if you try to run something like that. So if you are trying to run a more beast heavy deck, Vibrant Plumetail could be good. Could be good. It really fits that nice balance of what you really want a specific cards to do. Because it does run in the beast family, because it's more intended to be splashed in than anything, because it requires you to have a non-astral, which means if you run this for like, this is your beast card for this. I mean, this could be splashed into anything and fit decently. You're exactly right. If you just want to run solar, might as well. But the more thing is that, like, if you splash it in, you're probably splashing it in for beasts. Otherwise, like, why not splash in Celestian Warrior, right? Like, if you splash this in, it's probably because it's a beast. That's why you're splashing this one in over the Celestian Warrior. Because Celestian Warrior is guaranteed to deal 3 and 4. This one is, like, you hope someone doesn't mill you for some reason with all the discard stuff that's happening, that this one potentially could only deal 4 damage if you get really unlucky. So it would have to be splashed in mostly in the Beast family. And we've been seeing a lot of Beast family start splashing other stuff in, which is awesome. I'm hyper excited about that. But yeah, I mean, this is probably a 3-star card. It's average. It competes with Celestian Warrior. But it's because it's a Beast card, it's probably only going to fit in a Beast-style deck. And it's probably only going to be one of those that you splash into other things. Kind of how Moonlight Burrower was one, too. Moonlight Burrower still allowed you to look at the top 4 and draw a card. You just didn't get the additional action if it was still Astral, but it was still a good card. It was still a really good card. You could look at the top 4, draw one of them, and you're fine with that. You're A-okay. There was a lot of cards that also dealt with Lunar being on top, like Pathfinder. And it was an action card. It wasn't a buff. You had to wait to rotate out. This card is a buff. You have to wait till it rotates out. Yeah, it's just... It's good for the Beast family. It's good for splashing stuff in. I like it. I think it's nice that we have another card that somewhat competes with Celestian Warrior in a different way. Kind of how the Lost Traveler was. It competed with something in a different way. I mean, it's meh. It's a 3-star card. We'll probably see it in Beast decks, but outside of that, we'll probably only see Celestian Warrior still with the damage that I can output. If this one could potentially output more than Celestian Warrior, like it increased it to the corners are 5 and 5, but it would require you not to have Astral, then I think this one would be pretty like stronger. Where it had the conditional to like it was still really weak, but it had the condition where if you met it, it could surpass Celestian Warrior. Whereas because this one only potentially like does 1 more additional damage than Celestian Warrior, I don't know how well it'll really do. Like I said, the only benefit it has is the Beast family, and there's a lot of cards out there that really help the Beast family, mostly in Nature. So I would definitely see Nature start splashing in the Solar item now, because they have a lot of stuff like Search for Beasts. There's the one insect that if it's a beast buff from your discard pile, put it back into play. That kind of thing. So, hey, Pacer Custom 1, no problem. Good morning to you as well. I've been waiting to do this since we had all the cards, so I've been waiting for like a month to do this. Don't worry, man. I'm super happy you're here enjoying it. But yeah, it's just one of those like, this could have been better, but then again, if it was, this one would always be run over it. The Beast family is really strong right now with how synergistic stuff like that is, that I can understand why it's just kind of the same damage as Celestian Warrior, but giving it the Beast, it'll fit nice into more Beast-style decks. So that's why I'm only giving it a 3. It's a 3-star card. It's good to go. It's going to find its place, but it's not going to, like, wreck a game. It's not going to break the meta or anything like that. It's just going to be a nice addition to Beast family. Next one we have is the Jaded Diplomat. It is another solar card. It's a Chimchu attack. 3 damage. If your last discarded card is Kriebel, move 1 Kriebel card from your deck to your hand. As we've probably discussed before and as we've probably seen before, tutor cards, and if you guys don't know what tutor cards, tutor means search your deck for a specific card, put it to your hand. Tutor comes from Magic the Gathering with a card called Diabolic Tutor. It was essentially a card that allowed you to search your deck for any card and add it to your hand. It was really good. You got to search for it no matter what it was. Cards like that are really good because they might have some card that's really conditional that you need to find right now to stop your opponent, right? It could be the Kriebel Monk. Hey, you're an ability deck. I'll search for that Kriebel Monk and lay it now that I have the card that knows what to stop your deck for. Jaded Diplomat is, I'm gonna say with the rise in Kriebel, with how strong Kriebel has been, with this being once again another solar card that can be splashed into another order without having any restrictions to it being Astral, this card is probably going to be a 4-star card. I'm going to say 4-star. It is a tutor card that searches for Kriebel. Kriebel's been very prominent right now, very strong right now. You're probably only going to run this in a fairly heavy Kriebel deck as well, because you need a Kriebel on top of your discard pile too. So your deck is going to be a majority of Kriebels. So the Chimchu fact doesn't even matter really in this one as well. It's 3 damage. 3 damage is it's a solid number on a card. It's not 2. We've seen 1 and they still do pretty well. 3 damage is good. Search your deck for a Kriebel card, add it to your hand. That's really good. There's a lot of Kriebel cards out there that I think right now say, like, if your top card is a Chimchu stuff, you get to do stuff as well. So that aren't even Kriebel cards. So you could do that, draw, put the Kriebel in your hand, Chimchu effect and whatnot. You could really synergize these families together in Astral. But outside of Astral, yeah, it's a tutor card, and you're going to put in tutor cards. I ran a lot of Beast synergy with the Ashward Nurturer. And I just splashed in animals so I could add that card and search for a specific beast. People did that in a lot of decks, especially when you could search for things like Crystal Leech and Thunder Slug and all the buff removal that are beasts. It was really good. Jaded Diplomat, I mean, meets a more specific tutor condition as opposed to you just get to do it any time. You have to line it up perfectly with your Kribble cards. But that's not as difficult as some of you might think. That's pretty easy to do, just based on the playstyle and how the Kribble cards are going to work. There's a lot of cards out there that say, hey, you got to discard a Kribble card to do this. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll discard a Kribble card. Now it's on the top of my discard pile. Boom, done and done. Jaded Diplomat is going to be really good. Jaded Diplomat is going to be a really sought-after card for people who play the more Kribble-heavy decks. And as I said, we're seeing tons of Kribble synergy everywhere. They're everywhere. So because of the high rising Kribble, for this new set, Jaded Diplomat gets a 4-star in my opinion. It is going to be really good. It's going to be really sought after. It's going to be one of those cards that you might just splash a solar item in to run 3 Jaded Diplomats so you can search for certain Kribble cards that'll help you win games. And I think there's some even rare Kribble cards in here, in Astral alone, that are really sought after. Like, I could build a deck around this. So being able to search for those cards early, get that synergy off as soon as possible, really helps. You don't want to be sitting there waiting for the key cards in your deck. Searching is good. Flat out, searching is good. Searching is good for the game. It's good for any game. You're going to want it. You're going to need it. Jaded Diplomat's really good. Daybreak Brawler, a Kribble card. What do you know? Daybreak Brawler reads XX5. Damage to your target. If your last discarded card is Lunar, your target discards 1 card from their hand and 1 from the top of their deck. Otherwise, discard 1 from the top of your deck. This is really good, guys. This is really good. It's most likely only going to fit into an Astral deck because you need Lunar, right? You need Lunar to get so you don't mill your own self. But at the same time, maybe you do want to mill yourself. Maybe for some odd reason you want to actually mill yourself to get to a certain point in the game. Excuse me, sorry. I had breakfast this morning. I would probably, like, if for some unseen reason, I did try to make a self-mill nature deck to get myself down to the Sippin' Queen so I could just infinite value off the insect attack cards. A Daybreak Brawler could be fine for me. Put it in there. Yeah, I'll mill myself for 1. I don't care. I want my deck to be empty. Deal 5 damage to you. That seems perfectly reasonable. If you put it in Astral and have a discard and mill, it's the same as a Greedy Gemruff without you having to meet a specific condition where you have to discard one of your own cards. This is a card that doesn't have burn. You could easily bring it back from the graveyard. There's a new hero that we got, Onyx, which is Solar and Lunar. This is going to be perfect for him because his ability literally works with Daybreak Brawler. This is going to be really good. This is a really strong card. It's a Kribble card, which already we're seeing a lot of Kribble stuff. We just had a Kribble Search card for this. Daybreak Brawler is really strong. It's really strong. I don't think it's going to be game defining. I think it's a 4-star for me. It might even be like 3.5. Probably not as good as Searching. 3.5. I'll probably go 3.5. But it's still a card that's like 5 damage. If you set it up right where there's Lunar, this is one of those buffs that your opponent legitimately goes, okay, this is going to be 5 damage to me, and he has Lunar, so like I have to either remove a buff to make it not Lunar, so he mills, or I have to just get rid of that buff entirely, right? If played properly, your opponent could lose such potential, lose 2 cards and 5 damage, or at the same time go, okay, maybe I just remove one of his other buffs and I just take 5 damage, and then one of your cards gets discarded. So there's like a whole play around with this where there is some drawback, which is nice. I like drawbacks if you don't play it right. But at the same time, like, your opponent could just lose a huge amount of tempo. Their deck goes away, their hand goes away, they take 5 damage. It hurts them all around. It's super good. Mud Turtle, no worries, man. Hopefully you get to catch the stream later. Thanks for stopping in. Hope you have fun at work. I mean, I know it's work. It's kind of dumb, but thanks for being here, man. I hope you get to check it out later. But yeah, Daybreak Brawler it's really strong. It's going to be a really good card in certain decks. You're probably not going to see it everywhere. But then again, you might. It's just 5 damage on a buff. It's like you either run this or Mage Ship. Mage Ship is 7 damage, so if you're going for more damage, yeah, Mage Ship's awesome. If you're going for the chance to mill your opponent and get rid of their hand, depending on how the game goes, and you want Kribbles as opposed to machines, Daybreak Brawler is really good. But yeah, because it's a Kribble card, I think this card is going to fit into a lot of really nasty situations. Where Daybreak Brawler is just really good. I'm going to give it a 3.5. Not quite up there to 4 because I did just give a Tutor a 4, and Tutor is like phenomenally strong, right? Tutor might even get a 4.5 just because of how strong tutoring actually is in the game. Like, that's a card that you're going to want 3 of. Daybreak Brawler, you might only want 2. You might not want to go full on it, but it's probably a 3.5. It's right around the mid-range of being a really good card. Not, like I said, not breaking the game, but really fun situational card to lay in certain decks. It's going to help certain decks a lot more than the other cards will. So I like Daybreak Brawler a lot. I think this card I'm going to definitely play this a lot. when I start building like an Onyx deck, or maybe even just really fun Astral decks that want to like restart this and all that other fun stuff. So Daybreak Brawler I think is going to be a really fun card to use. Now we're on to our Lunar cards. So we have the Lush Lost Trader. For healing, you may search your deck for a Chimchu card. If you do, after shuffling your deck, put the chosen Chimchu card on the top of your deck. Yes, it is a tutor, but it doesn't add it to your hand, which feels kind of bad at the same time. But then again, like cards like this could easily be worked into cards with the other Lush Lost one that we saw up here, the Lush Lost Explorer, where you could put a Gravity Chimchu on the top of your deck. Use Lush Lost Explorer to draw the Gravity Chimchu card, potentially your Telestian Priest, get that additional action, then lay the Gravity. Like that. This kind of stuff works really well for Corvus, as I think Aquamarine Jovi said before. These kind of things could help heroes that we haven't really seen a whole lot become more of a viable strategy, because it searches for a Chimchu, but it puts it on the top of your deck as opposed to in your hand, so you know what the top card is, you can draw it, you can do stuff really well. I do think that this is probably only going to be seen in Astral, not just because, you know, Chimchus are highly prominent in Astral, not anywhere else, but just because of the fact that it puts the card on the top of your deck. This is going to be one of those where you want to lay it first, your first action of the turn, so you know what your card to draw is. We're going to see cards eventually in Gravity that are like Krebo Balloonist. The Krebo Balloonist, which is you draw a card face up. If it's not Gravity, it doesn't go away. So you could stack the top of your deck really nicely with this card. It is 4 healing, which is really good. I think with a combination of that kind of thing, this is surprising to me. I'm going to give this a 3-star rating. It is minor tutoring, which is good. You know the specific card you want next turn. You're probably only going to lay it in situations where the card you put on top, you're able to draw that turn, knowing that the top card is this certain thing, or you can discard it for some other reason. It is 4 healing, which is essentially the max value that you want to get out of your Twilight Oracle for drawing a card face up, reveal it. If it's not Lunar, you get an additional 4 healing. So it is 4 healing base right there. The only other card that was kind of like that is the Yukona, the one that healed you for 4 and gave you an additional action if Solar was on top, I believe, where you didn't have a whole lot of, you had like 7 healing and you had 2 healing. There wasn't a whole lot of mid-ground for that. Having a Lush Lost Trader for mid-ground and search, it's going to find a nice spot whether you like just 4 healing or not. Tactician. Thank you, Ranathor. Thank you. Yeah, it's just 4 base healing. Search for a Chimchu card, put it on the top of your deck. Then there's a lot of cards that say draw the top card, reveal it. Guys, guess what? If you put a Chimchu card on top of there, you got to reveal that it's a Chimchu before you put it on top anyway. So they know what card you're going to draw. They know what card you're going to get. So the whole drawing and revealing card, you're doing it twice on one card. It's not going to bypass it. But yeah, Lush Lost Trader, it is going to be a very handy card just because of how often you want to draw the right alignment. And because there are a lot of Solar Chimchus, there are a lot of Gravity Chimchus. I'm not sure how many Lunar Chimchus we have. I'd have to look. And see what kind of Lunar Chimchus we have. That's what I'm doing right now, actually. We have the Chimchu Farseer. And we have the Telesta Protector. So we have 2 Lunar Chimchus. So we do have Chimchus in all the alignments, all of which are really good. So yeah, the Lush Lost Trader, depending on what kind of deck you build, it could just be good. Obviously, you're probably only going to run it in a somewhat heavy Chimchu deck, but at the same time, guys, the most famous Chimchu that we have is an unaligned card that searches for an item and puts it into play. The best tutor card that we have in the game. So Lush Lost Trader essentially makes any deck, as long as you have this in there, 4 healing, you get to look for your item retrieval card and put it on the top of your deck. So next turn, you get to put that item into play. You become General Carnage with this card, but you get 4 healing instead of 2 damage to yourself. So Lush Lost Trader, just because it can search for that card alone, really good. There's three Lunar Chimchus? I was going to say, I did look in the classic, so that's probably why you saw 3. But yeah, I mean, this card gets probably a 3-star rating for me. Maybe even a 3.5, because it is a tutor. Like I said, I give all the descriptions. It's a tutor. It doesn't put it in your hand. The top card of your discard or top card of your deck, for most intents and purposes, an Astral could be better than drawing it in your hand. But then again, if it is, it's just a card that you could put in there to make sure you get your item out with the Tantosian Blacksmith. It is 4 healing. It's a lot of healing on a base card. I think even Dusk Feeder only heals you for 3 and conditionally heals you for 7. So 4 healing base is really strong in my opinion. and just all the other stuff that it has. It also then becomes a lunar card that you put on top. It does a lot. It does a lot. I like the card. I think the card is going to be seen play. It's not going to break the game. It's not going to bust it, but it is going to improve certain situational types, which is what this set should be doing. It improves certain plays, certain decks, as opposed to all the decks at once, right? It doesn't improve every single deck. It should be only improving certain decks so that certain archetypes can rise above the other ones, and we won't just have one Astral deck to rule them all. So that's Tetra. Hey, how's it going, man? So yeah, I like this card. I think it's a 3-star card. But we'll have to see. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fun decks that like really rely on you putting certain cards up on the top of your deck to then get the added value. That Lush Lost Trader is just it's gonna see a lot more play than probably a lot of people thought at first, because it didn't put it in your hand, it put it on the top of your deck. But the way Astral plays, that in some cases might be better. Working from home on a Saturday morning? It stinks, man. That stinks. Sheltering Cavy, we have another 4 healing card. Awesome. It's a beast card, even better. While this is on the top of your discard pile, reduce damage received from attacks by 1. It's a good card. It's a beast card, which means it fits really nice into the beast family archetype. If not, it is just 4 healing, which is really good. I know when I was running Farapang, I'd run the Twilight Oracle, not just for card draw, but for mostly 4 healing. This is a beast card, so you can draw it with Farapang and get the additional action. It is a 4 healing card. And while it's on the top card of your discard pile, it really slows down hyper aggro decks that run the Scrapworks Bruiser, the Chimchu, not the Infiltrator, Militant, the Tyrax Mercenary, like all those really high damaging attack cards. But it's not just the attack cards, it's attacks in general. So even attack abilities get reduced by 1. This really helps slow down aggression in a lot of those certain situations. And you healed for 4. This card is going to be really good. This is really good, not only for the beast. There's a lot of really good lunar beasts out there. Lunar is probably the number 1 card for beasts to be splashed into, because it has the Moonlight Burrower. It has the Beast Tamer, the Celestial, the Beast Guard. Like Lunar is the main beast support family, in my opinion, for Astral. That we going in set order for these. Yeah, Ask Darbs put out a community website on Steam that has them all listed in numerical order. So that I'm using his site. I'm going right down the list, starting with Astral. I think after Astral is, oh my god, I can't even think right now. Dread, yeah, Dread, and then we just keep going down in numerical order until we get to the combos on the line, all that stuff like that. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Right now we're only on Lunar, so we haven't even more than a half hour into it yet. So there's a lot to go. Yeah, Sheltered Cavy. It is once again a 4 healing base card. It's a beast card, so you can search for it really well. Makes it so attacks cost 1 or deal 1 less to you. It's one of those, like, if you're playing aggression, you don't have a whole lot of healing, and your opponent's very aggressive, this will help slow them down for you to then gain momentum. This card is going to be an all-star in Farapang. I think this card is going to make or break Farapang. Well, not break it. Farapang's, in my opinion, really good. But it is a card that's going to find a nice spot. It's automatically 4 healing, reduces their attacks, all this fun stuff that Farapang needs to survive to help push its buff damage as well. I think it's a 3-star card. It's going to fit really nice into the Beast archetype. 4 healing is, like I said, a really solid base number of healing. It's not 6 that's broken. It's not 2 with a conditional increase. It's not 3 anything. 4 base healing, no conditional increase, and just helps you kind of stay alive for a turn, maybe even 2, depending on when you play it. Sheltering Cavy, it's just good. It's just really good. I like it. I think it's a 3-star card. Dusk Snout Defender, X22. It's a Chimchu card. Healing, if your last discarded card is solar, deal damage to your target. Otherwise, you take 1 damage. I mean, I don't know how to feel about this card. It's a lunar Creeble. It heals you for 2. It potentially then could deal 2 damage to your opponent if Solar's on top. But it's just like there's much better cards than this. I don't know how well, like I said, the Creeble family is what really has me confused on this, because Creeble family, as I discussed, is a very prominent family this time around. It's one of those that's going to really, really start showing up in a lot of deck archetypes. People will probably even build Creeble-specific archetype decks for this. I just don't know how strongly the incremental like damage and healing was going to do, unless you're in what I see being like the best play here is this card you would probably want to run in a hero that has lunar supremacy, or lunar superiority. So you can lay like the observatory Or no, is it the lookout or the one that increases your damage and healing? I'm really bad with names. I want to say it's the look. I want to say it's the observatory, the Skyward Observatory. I want to say it's that card. But yeah, you can lay that and the Dust Not Defender with a solar card on top. So that next turn, it'll 4 damage and 4 healing, then 4 damage and 4 healing. That'll be really good. But once again, that's 2 cards, same alignment that you have to line up properly together. And if you don't, then Dust Not Defender is only 2 healing, 2 damage over 2 turns. I don't know how strong that's going to be. In all honesty, and if it's not, it's 2 healing, then you take 1 damage. In some cases, that could be good. I don't know. I was discussing this while I was trying to hype it up. I'm like, oh, this could be a really fun one to splash into things like the in a Bignotron deck, and like in Tech, where you heal for 2, but then you take 1 damage, and your stuff it gets increased the more damage you take and stuff like that. So it'll be really explosive. I don't know. I mean, Tech already has a lot of stuff that deals its own damage to itself at the beginning of your turn, during other things. So I don't really know if they really want to splash in Lunar to get another one of those things. This is probably going to be like a 1.5, maybe even a 1. Like, it's just the only reason like I could give it a 1.5 is because it is a Creeble card. It does fit nice into the Creeble family. I don't know how potent the Lunar archetype. We already saw a lot of Lunar cards just before that healed you for 4 and did searching. It healed you for 4, kind of defended you. This one is just like, it heals you for 4. It's a Creeble buff. You almost need to play it in Astral to get the added benefit. Otherwise, it's just 1 healing. It just, I don't know. I don't see this card being good. Mind you, like I said that about a lot of cards last set, and they were super wrong on those. So I don't know. But this one, like, it just feels unrewarding to lay. It just feels like 2 damage and 2 healing is kind of like, cool. I could have got better than that. I could have laid one of the other Lunar healing cards that gives you 4 right away, and then does something better. Like the Cavi that we saw before was 4 healing, reduce the damage from attacks. This is 4 healing maximum over time, and it could deal 4 damage if you line it up right. Otherwise, it's just 2 healing over time, which is worse. It's just, it doesn't feel strong. It doesn't feel impactful. I'd literally have to find a way to look at all the cards, somehow find the right deck where it's like, yeah, maybe taking 1 damage is actually better than, dealing 4 to my opponent. I just don't see that being anywhere in Astral. I see that being in Tech, and I don't know why you'd want to splash Lunar into Tech. In all honesty, right now, I don't see it, but I could be wrong. But yeah, I'm giving this like a 1.5 max. It's just, the 0.5 is really because it's a Creeble. That's why it gets the added bonus. Because with being in the Creeble family, Halvar, you want to take 1 damage? Oh, I guess because you can run explosive. That's right. That's true, Tetra. That's true. In Halvar, you could run explosives. So yeah, maybe Dust Not Defender actually is for Halvar. Maybe it is. Maybe it's in Halvar now, because you'll micro heal, deal the 1 damage. Never forget. Yeah, that's true. Maybe this is the new Ambigonotron Halvar archetype that we're getting. Maybe that's what it is. It'll probably be like tier 1 meta, blow out Magrock and all that stuff. It's like, wow, you were so wrong about Dust Not Defender. And I was like, yeah, I was, wasn't I? That's what happens. You just heard, I don't know why Tech and Astral. That's true. Yeah, so Dust Not Defender, try it in Halvar. That's probably one of the only places it'll be good. Otherwise, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel impactful or changing in any way. So, June the 8th is Saturday? Is June the 28th Saturday? Because that's when the game comes out. May 8th is Wednesday when the digital comes out, Freshton. You should look at these reviews a month after release. I should do that. I was going to do that with Kindred, but I never got around to it. Yeah, a month after the game to see what everyone's playing and be like, oh, I was completely wrong on this. I probably should do that after a month comes out and re-review the cards that I was completely wrong on or completely right about. I'll probably do that. More YouTube content. There we go. Now we have our rare Lunar buff. Rare Lunar buff. Physical release is on a Tuesday. Awesome. I'll be able to scan my stuff in by Wednesday. That'll be nice. Nightglade Kennel is a Lunar location buff. It is for beasts. Once again, I said Lunar has probably the best synergy with beasts. So it was kind of weird that we got that one beast solar card, the Plume-tail. Now we're having like all these really good beasts in Lunar that kind of is like, well, why would I run solar in Lunar, or solar in beasts if I really want to run Lunar with beasts? Because this one is whenever you draw a beast card, you may reveal it to corner 1 is healing for 3. Corner 2 is 2 damage to target. Corner 3 is remove an action buff from your target. This card, and I'm sure a lot of people immediately saw it, was like, yes, Farapang all the way. Yes, give it to Farapang. Because it's you may reveal it, right? You may reveal it to do this stuff. It's not like, oh, when you draw it, you have to reveal it, so it has to be there. And Farapang, because it can't equip items, only has one source of buff removal, which is Reckless Spirit, which removes 1 buff. Nightglade Kennel is another way for Farapang to somewhat go into, instead of the like hyper aggro or just tempo damage board, to be kind of a more control archetype, which is really strange to think of Farapang as a control archetype. But because it has more sources of not just healing, but buff removal to control your opponent's board, could be really good. And what this card could do is it could sit on the board at the last corner and make your opponent kind of go, okay, I have these really good buffs, really strong buffs that I want to lay, but I know for a fact his deck is really beast heavy, right? It's super beast heavy. And whenever he draws a card, he can remove one of my things at any time. So having this just sit on the third corner could just be like threatening your opponent to not lay the cards they want to. Or it could just be like, all right, I'm going to throw this buff down, I'll waste it, and hopefully he removes it with Nightglade Kennel, and then I can lay the buff I really want to. Mind you, it doesn't remove combo buffs, which is fine, which is A-okay with me. There should not be all constant combo buff removal. I think combo buff removal should be limited to specific removal. So it is an action buff, but just being able to remove an additional buff in a beast deck in Farapang, really good. It's really good, guys. That I love this card. I love this card. I will probably only give this card a 3.5. It's like right on the verge of being 4. Because it is, I mean, it doesn't have impact on the board right when you lay it, right? It doesn't have impact on the board. You could lay it, and then you could draw a card, and then it'll have impact the same turn if you play it in like the right sort of deck. But it is healing first, which is, I'm okay with healing. Beast should be doing a lot of damage. That the first corner on this one should be healing. It is Lunar. It's healing is fine. And then 2 damage to the target, then 1 buff removal. Where it does a lot of things on one card. All requires the beast, so it is only going to fit into a certain deck. It's not going to be like, oh, I'm going to play this in a Chimchu deck. Why is this card not working, right? It's not going to fit into every type of deck. But yeah, I'd probably say 3.5. Just as another sort of non-family restricted buff removal is really good on a card. Does a lot of things for the beast family archetype. It's really good. The Nightglade Kennel, I mean, even in Astral alone, there's a lot of really good beasts in Astral to lay. So I do think the Nightglade Kennel is going to see play in Beast, probably Beast only. But it's not going to be a card that like improves upon what Beasts already does. Because Beasts, from what I've been seeing, is like, hey, you just lay a Beast, keep playing Beasts, keep your board full of Beasts. The Nightglade Kennel is just like, okay, here's just a nice addition to that while you're playing Beast. It's like, it's something that they could use, not something that they needed, but it's really good. So probably a 3.5 card for Nightglade Kennel. If you run a Beast, I might run 2 of these at least, maybe even 3, depending on how heavy control you are. But Nightglade Kennel, I like it a lot. I think it's going to do a lot for the Beast archetype. But a lot of the good Beast decks right now that I've been seeing, unless it changes, like I said, you usually kill your opponent before you get down to like 10 to 15 cards. So like the whole removal shouldn't matter too much if you're winning before you even get through half your deck. But we'll see. We'll see how Nightglade Kennel runs. I think it's going to be strong. But like it's not going to make or break a Beast archetype. It's just going to make it, it's going to improve it. Anti-Gravity Bot, the first gravity card we have is X2X2. It's a robot card. Awesome. I love family archetypes, my thing. I love families. Draw 1 card face up. If it's not gravity, deal damage to your opponent. This card, I was surprised to realize I was thinking about it all wrong, right? I was thinking about this card in such a way where I was like, this is essentially like Anti-Gravity Snail, right? Where it's like you get 2 chances at drawing, and if it's not gravity, you get to deal damage. Cool, but it's only 4 damage, so like it's not even that good. And then I was reminded, like, hey, no, you're looking at the damage aspect. You really want to be looking at this as a draw aspect. Okay, let's paint this red and call this Ancient Miner. And I'm like, oh, you're so right. Draw 1 card outside of your action phase, during the buff phase, drawing a card and potentially doing 2 damage. That's really good, guys. You know Tree Sprout? Tree Sprout was really good. It drew you a card outside your action phase, which is a lot of the times what you ran Tree Sprout for. You didn't care about the 2 or 3 healing that you got out of it. You get to draw a card outside of the action phase. Anti-Gravity Bot doing that when those 2 cards are being rotated out. As far as I'm aware, this is one of the only buffs that'll draw you cards outside of your action phase, as opposed to like the Shadowy Supplier or Astronomer, which is once again in Astral, right? Astral seems to be having the very strong cards that'll draw you cards outside of your action phase. That Anti-Gravity Bot is going to be nuts. This is going to be like a 4.5. Like, this is really close to bordering on a 5-star card, just because it draws you cards outside of your action phase. That is so strong, especially of the cards we're leaving. The cards that are leaving, this is going to be one of the only ones that'll do that for you. That you're going to be splashing in Gravity, and Gravity has a lot of card draw. Gravity is like super high on card draw, that if you want a speedy deck, guess what? You're splashing Gravity in to include those Astronomers. You're including the wow, I cannot think of the buff. When it comes into play, draw a card, and then has defendability to draw 2 and draw 2, and then retires. Can't think of the name for the life of me. I'm really bad with card names. But Anti-Gravity Bot, you have to use an action for that one, of course. This one you don't. It's just every other turn you get to draw an additional card. That is huge. That is huge. You are going to want 3 of these in practically every deck. Practically every time you want, like, yeah, I need card draw. Okay, let's put Anti-Gravity Bots in there. Boom, 3 card draw. The damage to your opponent is going to be minimal, but you're like, I don't care. I'm using it for card draw. Card draw is so good in this game. It's so strong. We've been finding that out more and more and more, that people are running the Umbron Barkeeps because, hey, it's 1 card that replaces for 2. It's cycling your deck. Anti-Gravity Bot is so good. All because I was thinking about it as the damage. I was like, oh, the damage is minimal. Don't look at that. And it's like, no. Read the first line. That's all you care about this card. If it just said draw 1 card and that's all this card did, people would still run this card. People would still run this card if it just said draw 1 card on X0, X0, whatever. That's all it would do. Special guy. Thank you, Rain the Thor. Thank you. But yeah, people would still run this card if it was just draw 1 card. It's essentially Ancient Miner. It's essentially the nerfed Ancient Miner, but in the last corner, you only draw 1 as opposed to 2. And people still ran that card. People still ran it after the nerf, and it still felt good to draw a card outside of your action phase. That this card, and being a common, very easily to acquire, is going to be good. It's going to be a 3 of in a lot of decks, in almost everyone that you want to draw. Yeah, Anti-Gravity Bot. I'm like 4.5, if not the first 5-star rating that I'm going to give, because of how good card draw is outside of your action phase. That this is nuts. This is nuts. It's going to be seen 3 of, and it's really going to help those decks that want to maintain tempo, aggro, and never have a dead turn. Anti-Gravity Bot, get a hold of it. Get a hold of at least 3, because you're always going to use 3. Always. Wilderness Mystic. We have a Gravity Chimchuu card. Another Chimchuu. Awesome. Here we go. 3 damage. While this card is on the top of your discard pile, it counts as any element. Yeah, this card is really good. This card is insanely strong. We are losing the what is it? I have my page up for the losing things. We are losing Reality Twister, which is the only way we really got it so that our top card of our discard pile is any element. Or is all elements. Sorry, all elements. This is any element. I don't know if the wording between all and any has any difference. I know there have been certain situations where the wording of like 1 word changes the thing entirely. So I don't know. Tetra says it does. Okay. Yeah, where it counts as any elements as opposed to all elements. It probably has something to do with like if the Sipid spawner, where how many elements are on the top card of your card, that's how many get cycled. So being any element as opposed to all elements means that it's not all elements at once, but you can pick and choose of which element it is. Well, I'll have to play the card and find out exactly what it means, but from what my understanding is, that's probably close to what it does. Tetris does exactly. Cool, I got it right the first time. But yeah, this card is really good. As we discussed, Astral really wants to control what the top element of its discard pile is at all times. Having a card that's not just like a buff that can be removed where your opponent can control it, but you put it there and you can line it up so it's like, hey, I do this for 3 damage. Cool. Now all my stuff next turn, if you don't do anything to it, are going to be increased upon certain things. Now we are losing things like we are losing things like Sunhugger. We are losing things like Suntop Monastery. We are losing a lot of things like that. But there are a lot of cards that say like get increased depending on what the top card of your discard pile is. But I wanted to discard 18 cards with one card. Rocket Sir, I know that would have been so much fun. Maybe next time, man. Maybe go into Wild, whatever the version of Wild is. The casual. Do it in there. Do it in there. Been brushing up on my rules for the gold event coming up. Super excited. Awesome, man. Way to go. Yeah, I can't wait to check out the stream when you go. When is the next gold event, by the way? Is it like it's not this weekend? It's obviously because otherwise it would be today. But it's probably in a week or two, right? It's got to be coming up close. 2 weeks. Awesome. I will be tuning in for that. That'll be a lot of fun. 5/18. I got it on my calendar then. I will mark it on my calendar. But yeah, Wilderness Mystic is it's really good. Once again, it's a Chimchu. So with that Lush Lost Pond or whatever the trader, you can search for it, put it on the top of your deck, draw it if it's gravity. Guess what? You have a Chimchu card that you really wanted. 3 damages is just a solid damaging card. Being able to control the top card of your discard pile is really good in Astral. I don't know how well it'll be outside of Astral. I don't know. But Wilderness Mystic is going to see play. It's probably going to be right up there in a 3.5 rating. Where it's not a card that'll improve all alignments, probably just Astral in itself. It is a Chimchu card, which fits really nice into Astral. It's 3 damage on a Gravity card. Gravity has been seeing a lot of utility lately, so that's pretty awesome to do. But it's not going to make or break every deck. It's only probably going to help Astral in a huge way, where you can start comboing and synergizing off the top card of your discard pile with your buffs and all that stuff. But it's what Astral needed after losing a lot of its other cards. This is just good. It's just a solid card. When you run this card, this is probably going to be one where you probably run 3 of them because of how strong it is in Astral to make sure you know what the top card of your discard pile is. Or not really the top card, but the top alignment that it is. And being able to literally have this card be any one you want is so good. It is so good. Mind you, it doesn't have burn, so you could easily bring this back and make sure you get it on top of your discard pile again. This is like a 3.5. It's really good for Astral. It's really strong. It'll help the deck a lot. I like it. And the art is amazing. The art is amazing. It's probably one of the first more Snow Owl arts that we've got. We've seen a lot of barn owls and a lot of brown owls and like just some normal birds. But the first like Snow Owl, it's really cool. Really cool. I like this. I like this Wilderness Mystic a lot. I think it's gonna see quite a bit of play in Astral alone. Next one we have is the Polaga Scuttler. It's an insect card. Insect is pretty awesome. We have 3 clunky additional rotation. There's 1, 2, and 2. So at the start of your turn, if you have 1 or fewer cards in your hand, draw rotational cards. I'm up in the air on this. I really am up in the air on this. Mostly because I like the fact that it's an insect. I don't know how strong insects are in Astral alone. It has like Blinding Beetle. Are we losing Paralysis Bug, or is that staying in? Because outside of that, I don't think there's a whole lot of insects. No, Paralysis Bug is actually staying in. So we have like 3 insects. 1 is Lunar, now 2 are Gravity. But it's at the start of your turn. If you have 1 or fewer cards in your hand, you get to draw a card. I did just say that drawing cards outside of the action phase is really strong. Conditional drawing outside of the action phase could be difficult to do. We'll have to see how this one really works. Because there is an item. There is legitimately an item for Gravity, where if it's equipped at the beginning of your turn, if you have 1 or fewer cards, draw a card. Where the item will equip, or the item will go first, and then you can Polaga Scuttler. That like I don't know why you wouldn't just run the item up over this. This could be removed. The item, mind you, if they run a lot of item removal, we'll see. But this is a buff, which is a lot easier removed. It's an insect. We're seeing insect-specific removal as well now in Storm. Polaga Scuttler, I just don't know. It's probably going to be... Like, I want to give it a 2. I want to give it a 2-star rating. Where it's going to be very difficult to meet that card draw aspect. You're only going to want to lay it under specific conditions when your hand is empty. And you want the card draw out there to really, really help blow you up. So it's going to be going in a lot of, I see like hyper aggro decks where you want to empty your hand every turn, not lose stuff, not lose card draw. You're probably still going to be running like Barkeeps in there. You're probably even going to be running Unbound Informants where you just dump your hand, draw cards, dump your hand. Where the Polaga Scuttler, it's going to be interesting to see if this card will be good in aggro, especially when aggro doesn't run a whole lot of buffs, in my opinion. Playing the long game this, yeah, I mean, later sets it could be good. Later sets it could very well be good. That gets a lot of support. But it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. I would like to say this is a good one, but just based on previous archetypes, based on previous decks that we've seen with kind of how aggro works, is they don't run buffs. They're all straight attack cards. Their only buffs are card draw. So Pelaga Scuttler, cool. But it doesn't do anything impactful right when you lay it, unlike the Spectral Guide for Gravity, and then defendability, draw two. Where this one, like, you have to meet a certain condition. And in all the aggro decks that I have been seeing, they're either hero draws them a card, which is an ability to draw a card, or they are running Barkeeps, they are running Informants, they are running any other Astral card that will draw them cards, right? That's how aggro works. For control, you usually want a big hand because a lot of your hand becomes conditional. It becomes like reactive, where your opponent does something, then you can control the board, wait until a long game, remove all their threats, and then you can start doing your stuff. Maybe this card is actually going to be really good for like a heavy aggro buff style deck as opposed to attacks, where you dump your boards of buffs and then you lay this as a buff to draw cards. And it's like, okay, well, do you want me to draw cards or do you want me to, not have these buffs that deal stuff? So like maybe it goes in a very aggro heavy buff style deck, where it could fit really well in insects. I don't know. Maybe you splash this into an insect with Gravity, and all your insect board buff, just you go wide on the board, do all your stuff, and then you Pelaga Scuttler, your hand is empty, you draw cards, you keep playing buffs, you just keep having a wide board, and they can either remove your card draw or they can remove the threats on the board. That's why it's only going to get a 2. I did say while I was doing the hype videos that this card, like, combined with the item, could be really good. Because, like, the item, if you have no cards in hand, right? No cards in hand, the item will trigger where you have one or fewer cards, you draw a card. Then the Pelaga Scuttler will trigger, well, you have one card now, it'll draw you a second card. You can then lay both those cards on your turn with the 2 actions. Then next turn, it'll trigger again, and because it's a 2, you'll draw 3 cards, right? And then you can lay 2 cards. You still have 1 in your hand. So the item will trigger first, you'll draw a card. This will stay, and then you can lay both of them again. Then you'll draw 3 more. So, like, playing it perfectly, you can get really good tempo for 3 turns in a row. And that's if your opponent doesn't remove it. If you play that style where just having a dead hand is all what you do. But at the same time, we've been seeing those type of decks win by turn 6 or 7, where usually their card draw does come from Informants or Barkeeps, which are just really good, really easy to meet conditions for card draw, because it's based on your opponent's hand. And your opponent usually, if you're playing aggro, will have more cards in hand than you. This requires you to have no hand, essentially, to be good. So I'm going to give it a 2-star. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we do find those archetypes that are more wide board aggro as opposed to attack aggro, because I love buffs. Buffs are the reason this game is made. Then I do hope we start seeing more wide board aggro, and the Pelaga Scuttler would be really good for those types of decks, where you lay your entire hand, don't care what your opponent does, draw cards, just constantly lay cards at all times. Just constantly lay the board at all times. And then Pelaga Scuttler, I think will be really good because you'll never have a hand and you'll just draw 2, lay them out, then draw 2, then lay them out. And it'll be really good outside of the buff phase to draw cards. So 2 for right now. Hoping I'm really wrong on this card. 2. Next card we have is the Kree Balloonist. I did kind of mention this a little before of what the top card of your discard pile was with the Lush Loss Trader. This is kind of the card that I was talking about. It is 4/4/5/6. Kree card. Awesome. Attack ability, damage, you draw 1 card face up. If this card is not Gravity, remove this buff. So you want to make sure that Gravity essentially is always on top of your discard pile, or on top of your deck, right? You want to make sure that Gravity is on top of your deck. So that when you draw it, and if it is Gravity, you get to keep this buff. Kree Balloonist is probably the first card I've talked about today, and we're only in Astral, where, like, you specifically probably build a deck around this card. There's a Chimchu card that searches for a Kree card, puts it into your hand. Awesome. This is a Kree card. You look for it right away. You put it down on the board. Lush Loss Trader looks for a specific Chimchu card, puts it on the top of your deck. There's a lot of really good Gravity Chimchus. I believe we just revealed one that makes it so your discard pile is anything. You put it on the top of your deck, then use an attack ability, draw a card face up. Look, guys, it's Gravity. I already showed you that. Keep this buff on board. There's a lot of really good synergies in Astral to make this card just really good. Mind you, as we've already discussed, if your deck is empty, guess what? You don't draw a card. So you can't draw a card face up and you cannot reveal it and say, it's not Gravity. This card just stays there late game. It's just there. So if you ever get to late game, this card is always going to hit for 4, 4, 5, 6. And there's a lot of ways to get Creebles back from the discard pile, which we'll see later in the underlined section or from other cards like that. But Creeballoonist is one of those cards that you legitimately could build an entire deck around. I have no idea how well the deck will do, but Creeballoonist will be like the core of that deck to make it work and hit really hard for 4, 4, 5, and 6. Then get it back, lay another one 4, 4, 5, and 6. That in a very gravity-heavy deck, this is going to be a lot of fun. I want to give this card a 4-star card, just because it's a really heavy-hitting card. It is a Creeble card. It's probably the first one that we've seen so far that you can actually build a deck around a new card and have it be like, no, this is the Creeballoonist deck. Like, that's the name of the deck, is it's Creeballoonist deck, as opposed to like the hero that you're building or a combo that you're building. No, it's a Creeballoonist deck, which there's not a whole lot of action cards that you build a specific deck around that we have right now. And this one, like, there's so many good things around. There's so many cards that you can use with this card. The fact that it doesn't have burn, like I said, you get it back at the end of the game if you really want to push for endgame. It's a really solid card. It's a really solid card. It does run the risk of it, hey, it's not being gravity, so it goes to the discard pile. Boo-hoo, I have 2 more in the deck. A lot of times I'll be able to know what my top card of the discard or top card of the deck is with, Moonlight Burrower, with the Lush Lost Trader, all this stuff to make sure you're drawing the cards that you want. So Creeballoonist, I give a 4-star to. I think this is a great card. I think it's an amazing card to play. I want to see people try and build a Creeballoonist deck and see how well it works. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. I haven't seen being this splashed into, or like splashing some Dread in there to use the other Chimchu card, the Dust Talon Assassin, to trigger abilities twice. That's going to be really good. And if you're searching for, Chimchu cards in that same deck, this is going to be really good. I think this will be a really fun card to play around with, that I think a lot of people will enjoy. Creeballoonist is going to be a fun card. I'm giving it 4 stars. Just all things point to yes on this card, where the high-risk, high-reward, there's not a whole lot of risk in Astral if you can plan it right. And we've seen a lot of cards that make it so you can plan it right. On to the combos. We have put it in Sun Hunter to check the top card. There you go. Bully Wife 092. Yeah, Sun Hunter will make it so you can always check the top card. Exactly. Mind you, like, you'll have to every other turn do it because it is 2 abilities in 1 turn. But yeah, you could definitely do that. And like I said, there's so many ways in Astral. Just check the top card. It's not a detriment. You just only use the ability when it's going to be the top card. And on the last corner, you don't even care what it is because it goes away regardless. So, like, it's really good. It's really good. Vibrant Glare. 2 solar as Eccentric play, deals 4 damage to your target. It's a buff. Awesome. I'm loving the fact that we're seeing a lot of combo buffs right now that if it's a normal just meh combo buff, it has immediate impact on board. That was a big thing before, where a lot of the combo buffs, they came out on the board and then it was like 2 turns before it actually did anything, and then your opponent was like, okay, well, I remove it, and you're like, wow, I just tossed back 2 to 4 cards to lay this card and it did nothing for me. I'm in such a bad way right now, right? This is literally, okay, put it on 4 damage. Cool, it already had an impact. It already had something on the game where I felt like I'd played it and did something. Then, whenever you draw a card, you deal a damage to your target. Mind you, this is a combo. So you play it, deal 4 damage, you draw a card for combo payment, deal another damage. This is 5 damage the turn it comes into play. That's not bad. And then afterwards, every time you draw a card, you deal an additional 1 damage. Mind you, it can't be increased. But there's a lot of cards, there's a lot of stuff just in Astral alone and everywhere else where you draw cards. You are just drawing cards like insanely well. That I think Vibrant Glare is going to be a really good combo buff. We are losing the double solar one in, I want to say it's like Rippling Flare. What's the, Rippling Flare is 2 solar. That was, mind you, 10 damage in one. That was a straight out attack card. But we have Planetary Alignment for that, right? We have Planetary Alignment. We still have we're losing Solar Wind. We still have Sunstrike, 7 damage off that. We're fine. We don't need every single card in Astral to be an attack combo card that just blasts your opponent to smithereens. I think Vibrant Glare is a step in the right direction for being a more versatile Astral archetype. The fact that it is 2 solar means you can just splash solar into any deck and run a Vibrant Glare in there to get your additional ping damage for drawing cards. That Vibrant Glare, I think, is going to be really well. I think it's going to do a lot of really fun things. It's going to be really annoying for your opponent to be like, this thing is just always dealing 1 damage to me, because you're always like, you can just pass, draw, and deal 2 damage and draw 2 cards. Like, you're always doing things with this card. Always. Always, always, always. I'm going to give this probably a 3.5. Like I said, right away when it comes into play, 5 damage on the first turn. Solid. Love it that much. It is 2 solar. It's going to fit really nice into a lot of decks that only run solar or very solar heavy, or, draw a lot of cards. and just the continuous threat on board where drawing cards becomes a threat. In an Astral, you draw quite a bit of cards. I mean, in any deck, you draw cards. You can pass 2 and draw 2, and this will do 2 damage to them. Where passing doesn't feel like a dead turn anymore. If you're actually dealing damage just by passing, it's kind of what the Darkleaf does for nature. When you pass, you heal for 2. When you pass, it doesn't feel like it's a dead turn anymore. You heal for 2, and there's a lot of synergies that restart if you heal or do something when you heal. Where Vibrant Glare, I think it's just going to be a really solid combo buff. It doesn't have burns, so it could easily come back into play. Mind you, we are still keeping Reality Rift, which is 2 solar, 2 gravity. Vibrant Glare fits really nice into a deck like that, where they remove it the first turn, and then, hey, guess what? I bring it right back. Cool. And it's not one of those imposing immediate threats. It's just kind of one of those, like, that's going to be really annoying. It's going to be really annoying. Is that Art Kiwi Sunfist? It might be, now that you mention it. Well, now I have to look. Now I have to look, cowboy. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is Kiwi Sunfist. It is Kiwi Sunfist. Good catch. But, yeah, I like this card. I like this buff a lot. I think it's going to be 3.5, where it's just going to be a nice inclusion early, mid, late. It's going to be good any turn you play it, where your opponent's just like, God, that one. It essentially becomes like an insect swarm, where it's like, God, that one ping damage is really annoying. It's super annoying, and it'll add up real quick. It'll add up if it's not dealt with. This will add up really quick. So I like Vibrant Glare. I think it's going to be a very common buff seen in a lot of decks. Next one we have is the Muddled Star Signs. 7 damage to your target. If your last discarded card is a Creeble, attack or defend, apply its effects. We have been seeing quite a bit of Creeble cards. I want to see what we have right now just for Astral. Just for Astral and Creeble. Really, we only have the Crescentfell Cultists and the Impatient Scholar. So there are only 2 Creebles. Mind you, we are seeing a lot of Creeble stuff for Unaligned. Otherwise, the new Creeble cards that we have are buff, 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 buff. Wow. Okay, what about Unaligned? What about Unaligned? I know there's a bunch for Unaligned that are staying. For real. Okay. The only ones for Unaligned that are staying are Creeble Nurse and Sneaky Creeble. So Muddled Star Signs, I don't know anymore now. I was looking at it, be like, wow, there's a lot of good Creeble cards that we can lay, a lot of good Creeble attack and defend cards that we can do in Standard. There's really only like 4 in Astral and Unaligned alone, and you really don't want to lay this outside of Astral, because it is 2 Astral payments. Let me check in Crystal, because I know, nope, there's none in Crystal. Okay. Or no, in, what is it, Earth? Because this is a card for Sun Hunter. This is a Sun Hunter one because it's gravity and solar. For Earth, you have Lava-Tamer and Mudslinger. Unless you're running fire, Lava-Tamer's not going to do you a whole lot. Mudslinger could be good as another item removal. But that's really surprising. That Muddled Star Signs, like it does run with Creeble attack and defense, but there isn't a whole lot. There isn't a whole lot. It is 7 damage. It's essentially Sunstrike that we're still keeping. This is a defend, which is even better than Sunstrike because a lot of things that we've been seeing now, especially in Dread, reduce or stop combo attacks. So maybe Muddled Star Signs you're really just going to only use for 7 damage defend on a combo. So that's the only reason you run this over Sunstrike as opposed to, like, you know, getting additional action. That I thought there were a lot more. I mean, there's a lot of Creeble cards, but there's not a whole lot of Creeble attack and defend cards. We're seeing a lot more buffs for Creeble. I'm gonna give this 2 stars. Now that I actually looked at it. Yeah, Sneaky Creeble would probably be the best pair up. It'd probably be the best one. So it's 11 damage, 4 if it's unblocked. Yeah, because it's if it was like double solar, I could see this being maybe a 3-star because then you could just splash solar in and then splash this one into a Creeble heavy deck. But yeah, because well, no, okay, hold on. There's one other one that I could look into. Never mind. I was going to say we could look into Asavak, because this is also an Asavak style, and we could look into the Dread death ones. So let me go down here and just look in Dread. Umbron, Insect. Gutbelch Fanatic is a Creeble. We could run a Gutbelch Fanatic. But it's. I looked at this and was like, wow, there's a lot of fun stuff for Creebles. Now there's not a whole lot unless you splash in like a specific alignment to add another item in. I'd really have to go look and see what kind of Creeble attack and defend cards we have in the entire set now. But for right now, I'm giving this a 2-star. The only reason it's a 2-star is because it's a defend over an attack. It's the only thing it has over Sunstrike, which we are keeping. It's probably only going to be run in a Creeble heavy deck. Well, not only, because if you want more defend damage rather than attack damage, then yeah, you'll run this over Sunstrike. But it's just like we already have Sunstrike. Sunstrike does this, but better, because it's always an additional action afterwards. It's always going to be 7 damage. This one, the added benefit is if you're running more Creeble attack and defense, yeah, cool, run this. Man, that's a bummer to realize that there is not a whole lot of Creeble attack and defend cards. All the Creeble cards we're getting now are buffs. Man, that's a bit of a bummer. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe Muddled Star Signs will find a nice home in a Creeble deck that I'm completely not even thinking of. That'll be really good. And there will be a Creeble on top, and you'll always be on a thread of Muddled Star Signs. But right now, I'm just two. Do apply its effects against That's a good question, Cowboy. I don't know. I want to say no. Because that okay. I'd have to honestly double check on that, because it says apply its effects, which to me means that this card is doing it. Right, this card is doing it. Instead of like triggering its effects. If it was triggering, then the card would be essentially dormant and it wouldn't be able to trigger. But if you apply its effects, in my understanding, you would apply its effects to this card, and then this card would then do it. That's my understanding of the wording. So maybe because it does say apply, it does circumvent the element requirements, where like if it's your item is removed and the card on the top is dormant, you can do this and still trigger it just based on the fact it's a Creeble card. But I would have to double check on that one. For right now, I'm gonna put my 2 cents and say that it does, simply because it does not say trigger its effects. It's applying its effects, which means that card is then, like, the text is being added to this card, which you are allowed to play, as opposed to triggering it, kind of how Mimicking Horror triggered a card that the buff would deal the damage again, or whatever you triggered would deal the damage again. It wasn't Mimicking Horror dealing it. That's where I'm coming from with that. So we'd have to look and see how that one works. Yeah, that's true. It probably wouldn't make a good necessary. It's one of those, like, hey, maybe if you're running a Skyrider and you could discard a certain Creeble card that you didn't have access to, but then, like, why are you running that card in the first place if you didn't have access to it? Wouldn't you want to lay it as well and get the second added to it? I don't know. We would have to see. Maybe this is, once again, maybe one of those cards that is going to get a lot more support in later sets, and there's going to be a lot more Creeble attack and defend cards, where Muddled Star Signs will then rise back up and be like, oh, guys, guess what? We have an amazing Creeble card that, like, searches for things or discard or, like, deals more damage if something happens. But yeah, Muddled Star Signs, I'm just like, we already have a card at the same exact payment. The only difference is that it's a defend over an attack. I'm giving it 2. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you'll see it in draft. physical draft, where you like have access to all the alignments, so you can run any Kribble card you want. So we could look at just what Kribble attack cards we have, because there are quite a bit. Well, maybe not. Just what we have right now in standard. Um, there's not a whole lot. We'd have to look and see what we're getting now in this one after the whole set's revealed. But yeah, Metal Star Signs, I want to give it 2. I want to give it 2 just because there's not a whole lot. I thought there was more, but they're all buffs. They're all buffs, guys. All the Kribble cards we're getting are buffs. So yeah, I would just 2-star on that one. Just because Sunstrike is doing the same exact thing. All right, now we have Nebulous Shift. X and 2. 3 gravity. As a center display, deal 5 damage to target. Once again, a combo buff that has immediate effect once you lay it. That's so good. That's so strong. I love now that these combo buffs are starting to do that, where it doesn't feel bad once you lay it and then they remove it. It's a huge turn swing when they remove 1 card after you spent like 4 cards laying it, right? So 5 damage right when it comes into play. Also, when it comes into play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Or no, the second corner. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Draw 2 of them. Put the remaining cards back in the same order and get an additional action. This card does so much on the second corner, right? You look at the top 5. So first of all, you know what your top 5 cards are. You get to draw 2 of them. 2 of them, put them back in the same order, and you get 3 actions that turn. So already this combo in the course of 2 turns, 5 damage, draws 2 cards, you know what the top 3 are, and you have 3 actions now. So if you really wanted to just pass, you would draw 5 cards. You would draw all those 5 cards that you saw. But in Astral, there's a lot of ways to look at the top card of your deck, find out what you want to do with certain abilities, all the fun, yada, yada, yada. I feel like this card is going to be really good in, I don't know, maybe a Kribble deck, where you're running a lot of high gravity stuff, where paying for 3 gravity isn't going to be that difficult. Right when it comes into play, 5 damage. Kudos. Next turn, you have an additional action. You can do a bunch of really fun things with 3 actions in Astral. Like, a lot. You might even run, like, a Corvus deck, since he is Astral, or he's Gravity Superior. Corvus might be the Kribble hero to go for all this really fun stuff that Gravity's now getting. Nebulous Shift, I feel is good. I feel it's a 3-star combo, just because it is 3 gravity, so it's going to be a little more difficult to play in. But if you build a very gravity-heavy deck, which with Kribble I literally just said is probably one of the only cards you're going to build a specific deck around, which requires a lot of gravity, Nebula Shift is probably going to be pretty good in that deck. That one specific deck, which, for all I know, could be one of the better decks to play. It has a lot of stuff with it in 2 turns, really interactive, really no downside, no waiting to get that stuff on it. This card gets a 3-star. It's going to be really good. It's going to help out a certain archetype that I hope comes to fruition in the Kribble. If not, Gravity has also been one of the it's your utility alignment. It's the one where you're holding onto a lot of the Pathfinders, you're holding on to a lot of the Infiltrators, where you want to lay them at certain times to get certain things back, right? And in other cases, they're just dead cards in your hand. You end up having a whole lot of gravity in your hand. So having it be the utility side is what the 3 cost is going to be a lot easier to pay for, as opposed to if it was like solar and you're aggro and you're like, oh, okay, I'm constantly laying my solar cards. Now I draw a combo that's 3 solar. Well, I already laid all my solar cards. I better wait and draw 3 more, which is going to slow your tempo down for the aggro that you want to be. Before you can lay a combo, then you have to redraw those solar cards again, right? This Nebula Shift, I think, is really strong. I think it's going to see a lot of play. The utility alignment for Gravity, being a 3 payment, is not going to be that difficult to pay for. And put in the right deck, you could probably play this like turn 3, maybe even turn 1. If you just have all Gravity in your deck and you make it so you're constantly drawing Gravity for Kribble. Could be really good. I like it. I like Nebula Shift a lot. I think it's going to be really fun. And it's not going to be impactful, but it is going to be a nice card to lay in certain decks that require you to know the top card of your discard pile, require you to have a lot of card draw, require you to rearrange and do all this fun stuff that you're doing. It's going to be good. 3-star in my opinion. Midnight Strike. Midnight Strike is the first 4-cost combo we have for 3 lunar and 1 solar. It's 2/2/2 healing, then 12 damage to your target. I mean, it's like meh. We have a better card in Planetary Alignment. We have a lot of other good cards that are easier to pay for that just deal 12 damage. The only thing I see Midnight Strike being good in is like an Onyx deck, where you don't have Gravity and you only have those 2 alignments to play. If you're trying to make a deck that only runs Lunar and solar, which I think Onyx is one of the only heroes that has those two. All the other gravity or all the other Astral ones are either lunar gravity or solar gravity. I think Onyx is the first one we have that's lunar solar. So Midnight Strike, I think, is like it's made for Onyx. I just don't know how well it's going to be. We are indeed losing Full Moon, which was the double lunar card. We're losing Eclipse, which is lunar solar. So like we are losing a lot of the cards that would help in a deck to run Midnight Strike, where Midnight Strike is now losing a lot of the cards that its combo payments are for. The only card that we're going to keep is Eternal Dawn. And Eternal Dawn, I've literally just said it's the Eternal Dawn of memes. Because that card, like, I've been seeing it a lot more in casual, which is really cool. But it's just, like, not an impactful card. It's one of those cards that I tried to see if I could just make a meme deck around it. But we are getting a lot more cards that could make it more viable. The Eternal Meme Dawn. That Midnight Strike, maybe because you're running an Eternal Dawn deck, you run Midnight Strike to help pay for it. Outside of that, it's just, like, you're tossing away 3 lunar cards, right? You're tossing away 3 lunar cards that are potentially the cards that'll heal you for 4 or draw you a card and heal you for 2 or 4 to only heal for 2, 2, and 2 and then deal 12 damage. It's not impactful right when you lay it on the board. It takes you a while to get to the 12 spot corner. Maybe this is one that you run in Alara where you can spin it forward with her ability because it's a combo that costs, pretty difficult to cost, but you can spin it forward with solar and lunar with a lot of the buffs that you want to play in that. It's just I don't see this being a really strong and threatening one. Especially for Astral, the way Astral's been playing, it's very aggressive. It doesn't want to wait 4 turns. It wants to do stuff right on the turn that it's doing it. I want to give it like a 2-star. I want to give this 2-star where the only reason you're going to see Midnight Strike is if you're running Onyx, and Onyx doesn't have access to gravity. So you're going to want to run Midnight Strike because it's one of the only few combos you can run. Or you run it in a deck that has just a lot of solar or a lot of lunar buffs, and you run it in Alara, who has lunar supremacy, and you can use it to spin this forward a little bit. I don't see this card being that good, which is really weird. Especially when we've seen the other 2 combos, and so far I've been like, yeah, these combos are really good. You're going to see play that easy to pay for. That tossing away 3 potential heal spike cards to get something down that potentially could be removed that's going to deal 12 damage, I'd rather just run Planetary Alignment over this, in all honesty. I would just run Planetary Alignment, which is why I said the only reason you're going to see it is if you literally cannot run Planetary Alignment, you don't have gravity. So Midnight Strike, it's a 2-star, might even be a 1.5. A 1.5, where the only reason you run this is because you have to run it as one of your combos because you don't have gravity. You don't have access to gravity, so you have to run this because it's the only combo you can run. That's what I'm seeing. Could have been better. With 3 lunar and the max healing of 6, could have been a lot better. Could have been a lot more of a defensive combo. Yeah, I don't see it. I do not see it. Penji's Blessing. We have, once again, now a combo that's, right along the normal 4 combo payments that we've been seeing. Lunar, solar, gravity. Awesome. Corner 1, to damage your target. Corner 2 and 3, draw cards. Corner 4, healing. So right away when it comes into play, it's 3 damage. Okay. I mean, we've seen combos that deal 3 to 5 damage on the first corner with this payment, so that's fine. Then it really ramps up with card draw. That's really good. Usually card draw you wait and see on the 4th corner of a combo where like it's the best thing to get, right? So corner 2 and 3, you draw 2 cards and then you draw 1 card. Then it's 7 healing. So late in the game, 7 healing. It's kind of like what Guard Snail does for Storm, where it has a really big spike healing, but on the 4th corner. So your opponent literally goes, okay, do I try and rush him down? Or do I just kind of wait a few turns, let that heal do not as much damage? How do I play around this combo, or how do I play around this buff if I can't remove it? Well, at the same turn, you're drawing cards. You're building up tempo. You're building up your hand. You are going to come in with a huge swing if it's not dealt with. I like this combo. I like this combo a lot. We're losing Moonsong, so this fits right into the place where we're losing a combo with this exact payment. Penji's Blessing, I think, is going to be like a 3.5 star combo. Nothing really to break the game, nothing really to ruin it. It's going to fit really nice into decks with Alara that has 1 of each combo. You can spin it forward, draw cards really quickly with her, get that healing if you really need it from her. All the fun stuff because it is 1 of each one, right? And depending on if it's Lunar Supremacy, like she is, this could be good because you could have a lot of Lunar cards. Penji's Blessing, it has a really nice fit. It does a lot of everything that it needs to do for Astral. It doesn't explode in potential where it's like you need to run this buff over all the other ones, kind of like how Black Hole, like if you're running Astral, you're running Black Hole. It removes all their buffs. I don't care if it does 1 damage. It removes all their buffs. That's good. That's a huge board swing for Astral. Yeah, I think Penji's Blessing it's good. It's not break the bank good, but it's good. It's a 3-star blessing, or yeah, 3-star blessing. Maybe even a 3.5, just because it's the only one that we now have that is double Lunar and one of each. So depending on the deck style that you're playing, maybe you run a lot of Lunar, and this is just an easier one to pay for. That's what I'm thinking. Penji's Blessing, really nice solid replacement for Moonsong, because Moonsong was almost never seen. And with Eclipse going, maybe you run this, and maybe this is kind of run in a deck where you run the Midnight Strike. But if you do, why not run Planetary Alignment? Why not run Gravity Bubble? All the ones that we're keeping. This one feels so bad when this one it's good. It's good. It does one of everything for 4 cost. Yeah, I'm okay with it. That's perfectly fine. Master Freyclaw. Master Freyclaw is a gravity superior hero with 32 health. When you get attacked by an item, deal 2 damage to the attacker. That's really good, actually. A lot lately, we've been seeing a lot of decks out there run items to trigger abilities, right? A lot of items to trigger abilities. The only one I think that we've seen that runs a defend ability is the Duskblade Tome, and that's to draw cards, that's to heal them. The only one that really deals damage off a defend is the Venom Soaker, which is a defend ability to deal 2 damage. That's really only if you're running poison, and in my opinion, I think the Scythe for poison is better because it rotates your poison buffs, which I've been having a lot more fun with lately anyway. But when you get attacked by an item, it deals 2 damage back to the attacker. So it's in a sense kind of like a built-in, not as quite potent, but a Steadfast Beacon, where it's like, hey, you get attacked, I'll deal 1 damage to you, I'll reduce 1 damage. Like, it's really good. Where the more and more we start seeing items become prevalent, the better this card is going to be. Nitro Hammer, which we've already seen is going to be a really good one, deals 3 damage to them, 1 damage to you. Then this will deal 2 damage back to you. So it's a 3.3 swing. It's not even an attack that deals damage, just they take damage. It really will threaten cards like Mountain Fort if they attack you with an item. It'll really affect a lot of heroes that just run items to trigger abilities. And as we're seeing right now, there's a lot of ways to trigger abilities off of items. Dust Talon Assassin become really prevalent as well to trigger those as well. But at the same time, it's like, if you're running abilities and you're running Dust Talon Assassin, you're running Tentacles. That's where most of your damage is going to come from, not the item ability trigger anyway. So, like, it's a good one. It'll get better the more we see items become more dominant in the game. But if items become more dominant in the game, then we start seeing an increase in oppressors, which just remove those items that have the attack abilities. Or we start seeing things with Starforged Warrior, or we start seeing Mudslinger, like things that will remove items, as opposed to cards like this that just like, hey, yeah, you can still use your item. I'll get a somewhat small benefit from it. 2.5. 2.5. With Astral having Starforged Warrior, I would rather have a Starforged Warrior on top than this, just to deal more damage to my opponent. Usually if they're using attack abilities on you, it's things that get increased, so they're going to out-tempo you as opposed to the 2 damage back to them. Yeah, in theory, it's a nice kind of way to defend against the attack items. It's a nice way to kind of balance it out. But at the same time, they've already given us suppressors. They've already given us Mudslingers. They've already given us ways to deal with items. And when items become more prevalent, those cards will become more prevalent as opposed to this one hero. So I'm going to say 2.5. The only thing I like about him is he's Gravity Supremacy, which I think Gravity is probably one of the better ones to be have Supremacy with. But there are other heroes that are better Gravity Supremacy than him. So 2.5. He's going to be fun, but he's not going to be like, oh, he's the all-star hero we need and we deserve. There's ways to handle items now. 2 damage. If this was like 3 damage, because it is very situational that this happens. If this was 3 damage, awesome. It would really threaten your opponent to say, oh man, should I use my attack ability on my item now? But a lot of the attack abilities you're using are Nitro Hammer, which deal 3 damage. This just deals 2. There's a lot of items that deal more damage than this ability could use. And you really want this to be like, are you sure you want to use that ability kind of thing? Where if it's just, yeah, I'm dealing more damage to you, why not? Why wouldn't I use this? That's where it kind of is like, it doesn't feel as strong. I wish it was 3 damage. It would really make your opponent question whether or not they really want to use the attack ability in the item if they're taking the same amount in return, type of thing. Potion Master Mixie. Now, this one has no supremacy, but when you play a Creeble card, reveal the top card of your deck. If the revealed card is Solar, deal 1 damage to target. If it's Gravity, heal for 1. If it's neither, you take 1 damage, then move the card to the bottom of your deck. This card I like, because we are seeing, a lot of Creeble cards. So whenever you play a Creeble card, Potion Master Mixie, I think is going to be really fun in a Creeble style of deck. In my opinion, the one that I saw Creeble being really well was Creeble, which had a lot of gravity. This one kind of messes that whole thing up. With the Creebles, you almost want to make sure the top card of your discard pile is, or the top card of your deck is probably something that you don't want to be put on the bottom of your deck, type of thing. But at the same time, that's for one Creeble. And if you're running her, you're probably not running Creeble anyway. You're probably running a more Solar, more... Oh, no, if it's Gravity, you heal for 1. I thought it was Lunar. Never mind. Yeah, you could run it for micro heals. You probably do want at least some supremacy in your Creeble heavy deck if you're running Creeble. The fact that it moves it to the bottom of your deck means that cards that are sticking around... Oh, Lord, what do we have? Cards such as Gravity Well could be really good in this, right? It moves to the bottom of your deck. Gravity Well, you can then draw one of those cards from the bottom of your deck, and you know which card you drew. She's an okay hero. Really heavy on the Creeble aspect. So, nice ping damage. It can be increased, which is another thing. You could lay stuff to be, increasing the effects on this as well. So you could run this with the observatories. Lay your Creeble cards, the deal stuff, increase by that. Look at the top card, increase the damage or healing by that, put it in the bottom of your deck. All this really fun stuff to have really big swing turns with Potion Master Mixie. But outside of that, I think she's probably a 3-star hero. I want to say 3 stars. There are a lot of fun things in my mind that you can do with her. But it's going to take a lot of testing, a lot of playing around with it. Nothing really immediately comes to my mind of what you want to do with her. She has only 28 health. Yeah, exactly. It looks fun. Competitive, I don't know. Maybe someone will find a way to make this extremely competitive where you'll have those observatories, you'll be able to restart them, all this fun stuff like that, and then move it to your bottom of the deck. I mean, trying to think. Yeah, it doesn't even say draw. I would say you could run this with like Archaeologist to draw the card, reveal it, and then put it in the bottom, but it doesn't even say draw. You just reveal it and then put it in the bottom. You don't technically draw the card, so you can't even really get fun things with Archaeologist off of it as well. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this card could potentially be better come later sets, like a few of the other Astral cards we've been seeing. Right now, it's fun. I'm sure there'll be fun things to do with it, but I don't see this being like a competitive thing where you're really good at what you're doing. Especially with how Astral's like, yeah, I want to make sure I have all these cards. I want to make sure I draw the specific ones, have the top aligned properly. And then your Creeble cards are just like, yeah, we're going to mess that whole up. And I was like, really? But pooled, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Like it looks like fun. It looks like it could be a lot of fun to play around with her and really just kind of like cycle through your deck, put them on the bottom of your discard pile. This is one of those that maybe it's good to, maybe she's the one that we need for that anti-gravity field where you flip your whole deck upside down so you know what the top card is. So like when you play your Creeble cards, they go back to the top on the bottom of your deck. Like this, with her, you could definitely build one of those decks and make it a lot more fun so that you know what the top card of your deck is to make sure you constantly get that benefit. But outside of that, it's like that's more of a meme fun deck. I don't think that's competitive at all, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see how Potion Master Mixie works. I'll try it. I'll try and see if I can have fun with her. But it's one of those it'll take a lot of trial and error before anything substantial comes out of her. There's nothing immediate to mind, at least to me, where like, oh, I already have a plan for her. I know what I'm going to do. Where other heroes like Onyx and Trigux, not Trigux, the new Storm tech one we got, cannot think of the name. Time Jumper Rylox, that's what it is. where those like immediately sparked interesting deck ideas, deck archetypes. But this one's just like, okay, there's things we can do, but not a standard list has been set for her that I've at least thought of. Maybe you guys did. Kudos, awesome to you guys. But yeah, this is just like, it's a 2-star hero. Maybe 2.5, but like bordering that 2-star hero where she could be fun. She could have potential. Just, I don't see it. I don't see it right now. And I hope someone else does. I hope someone finds a way to make this card bonkers. But right now, to me, it's a 2-star. I don't see it being that impactful outside of a meme deck. And I love memes, so prove me wrong. Prove me wrong on the meme. Now we have Alara. Which is Lunar Supremacy, starts with 29 health. Being Lunar Supremacy, healing is not that hard for her. Ability, rotate one of your action buffs 1 step forward. If the buff is next to another buff of the same element, you may rotate that 1 step forward as well. This is really good. The first thing people notice is like, wow, that means that you can rotate combo buffs with her. Yeah, it does. Yes, it does. Being able to rotate combo buffs with just a hero ability is really strong. I already know several people that are like, yeah, I'm already busting Alara. I'm building a deck with her. I know what I'm going to put in it already. All the cards that have been revealed, I know I have a list. This is what I'm building. Because you can manipulate combo buffs, as we've seen with Skyslayer Vandal being one of the top tier Astral decks that we've been seeing right now. Alara is going to be really good. Alara is going to be incredibly strong. I don't know, however, if she's going to be one that breaks the meta. I want to give her a 4 to a 4.5, like a 4.3, somewhere in between there, like a 4.3, where she's really good. She's really good. People will build a deck around her specifically for her ability to manipulate combos, stuff like that. Rotate 2 buffs at 1 action is going to be really good. There's so much you can do with Alara. But because of that, there's a lot of board prep you need to put up, where I felt like Skyslayer Vandal is already a really good card that manipulates with combos and stuff like that to manipulate the board. Have really big swing turns that we've seen potentially upwards of like 30 damage in 1 turn that require like 1 buff to be on board. And then you lay a combo. It's a lot easier to set up. This one, you have to get your combo buff. You have to get your action buff. You have to rotate it. And as long as the action buff doesn't rotate out, then yeah, you can rotate the combo buff. I feel like Alara is going to be one of those more control-y style decks, maybe even mid-range. It's not aggro. It's probably never going to be aggro. It's going to be a burst potential deck, which we've been seeing a lot lately, have been really good. Those are the ones that win, is the burst potential, because you just blow them up in 1 turn and your opponent can't react. Which is why I'm giving it like a 4.3, not a 4.5. She's a really strong hero. She will be seen as one of the top Astral heroes. But Selene is still sticking around. Vandal is still sticking around. Those ones have already proven their worth. To me, those ones have already proven their worth. Selene has been used in combos, has been used in control, has been used in OTK, has been used in aggro. Like, Selene is all around good because her ability is card draw. And card draw, 9 out of 10 times, will beat board manipulation because you'll just out-tempo your opponent with card draw. This one, your opponent can react to. Your opponent can remove buffs if they find you setting up a good board to do stuff. We'll have to see. Yes, rotating combo buffs is really strong. It's incredibly strong. That's why I'm giving it like a 4, 4.5. But because your opponent can interact with it, can stop you, can hold you back from doing the stuff you want really quickly, and then blow you up. I still, in all honesty, I still see Selene being stronger than Alara. And Selene is only better than Alara because, A, she's been proven to be better. She's been proven to have several different decks built around her. And she's card draw. Guys, she's card draw. Yeah, you discard a card from your deck, but guys, there's ways to make so Astral loves discarding cards from your hand to draw 2 cards. There's so many good things that it's just like, I mean, it's going to be tough to decide. But I am excited that we're getting a really, really good, strong Astral hero to compete with Selene. I just don't know, because it's not proven yet, how well this will compete with Selene. I hope that it is really good. I hope it almost is better than her because card draw is busted, and I cannot wait for Selena to rotate out. Mind you, a lot of other people have different opinions on that. But Alara, it's what Astral deserves. I don't know if Astral needs it though, but it's a good one that Astral deserves to have. And I cannot wait to see what kind of bonkers things people pull out with her. I think she's going to be really strong. She could potentially be game breaking, but we don't know yet. We don't know. But Alara, definitely get a hold of her. Definitely get your hands on her because she's going to be one of those with her ability that is going to see up in the maybe even tier 2. I don't know about tier 1 yet. I don't want to say tier 1 and then be completely wrong. Like that's the worst thing I could do. But she's probably going to be up there in tier 2, at least tier 2. She's really good. All right.